Hello everyone, I'm Santiago and today I'm going to be testing NieR Replicant version XYZ. Yeah, it's a very long number as you can see here. NieR Replicant version something on the Steam Deck. So yesterday I tested NieR Automata, now it's time for this game. So here we go, native resolution, but unfortunately force 16:9, so you have bars on the top and bottom of the screen. Anti-aliasing on seems to be a very basic kinda FXIA solution. I lowered the texture filtering a tiny bit for a couple extra frames, medium shadows for performance reasons. Ambient occlusion or reflections didn't change performance at all. LOD on high or max destroyed my frame rate. Performance mode off, this is like dynamic resolution, doesn't seem to be working properly. And that's basically it. So with those settings, we jump back into the game and you'll notice that it's below 60 FPS and the GPU usage is not maxed out, but it's using the CPU 7, one core at 100%, so that's wonderful. My advice for this one will be to lock it to 50, which we're going to do once we jump into handheld mode. But here we go. I'm going to show you those locations. There's some... First, I'll show you some combat so you can see how it runs. And then one of the bigger locations that comes later on in the game. Yeah, sorry about that. I needed to do it. But again, the biggest issue with this one, single-threaded performance. So either a 50 or a 45 FPS lock and you should be good to go. Where's the enemy? And sorry guys, I forgot how to play. I'm just mashing buttons. Yeah, it's dropping below 60. Sorry, below 50. So maybe a 45 FPS cap makes more sense. But again, we're CPU limited. It's not a thing of the GPU really. The GPU has a small impact into this, but it's mostly CPU unfortunately. It likes to use one core at 100%. So yeah, maybe 45 it makes more sense. But at that point maybe lock it to 40 and that's basically it, right?
That should take care.
So yeah. Let me reload this save and we're going to jump into handheld, which is the most interesting part. So this is the save I was talking about and we're locking it to 40. I was thinking 50, but as soon as there's combat it drops into the 40s, so 45 should be fine as a frame rate lock, but 40 I think is the best of both worlds. So yeah, let's jump into handheld mode. One sec. Alright guys, welcome back. Now we're in handheld, same settings as before. And again, here it's into the 50s, just fine, but my advice is to do this, open this menu. And in frame rate limit, scroll down to 40 or 45. In this case, I would say 40 makes more sense. Alright guys, so I changed my mind. I'll lock it to 40 so we get some extra battery as well. And yeah, and if you see flickering on the screen, that's because I have a 60Hz camera capturing a 40Hz screen. So don't worry, it won't flicker in real life. And this will make sure that the game is always at 40, battery life will be in check. It's around 2 hours of battery, although I'm at 87% battery, so yeah, a couple hours. Still is using one core at 100%, which completely sucks. But at 40 Hz it looks pretty good, in my opinion at least. So yeah. Apologies again for the flickering. 60Hz camera recording a screen that is running at 40 Hz. But as you can see, it stays at 40. It's not like the previous time. that it was into the 50s and it dropped into the mid 40s. So yeah, I think it's a good concession to keep it at 40. Another option is to put it at 45 or 50 with some drops here and there, but I think the consistency speaks by itself. What is funny is that the CPU is still 100%, which blows my mind.
Okay, that should.
And well, the biggest issue on this one, apart from the CPU performance, is that we got black bars on the top and bottom of the screen. So that's an issue. It's 16:9 no matter what. But let me show you a more demanding stage, talking about draw distance, because this is as far as combat goes, I think, in this location. Let me check. Yep. Seems to be as far as combat goes. Let's load the other save. Alright, it's now loading. It should be very quick. We're on an SSD, the NVMe drive. And there we go. Back in. And we're back into the town. The town also 100% CPU. So yeah, optimization on the CPU level is basically missing. They forgot to put it in. But this is a great game for the Steam Deck, in my opinion. It's a controller-focused game, obviously. And if you played NieR Automata, you probably want to play this one. You'll find a lot of references. Because the first one actually was NieR Replicant on PlayStation 3. This is a complete remake, and they change a lot of things around it. So if you're a NieR fan, there's no reason not to play this game. Unfortunately, not like in NieR Automata, we cannot do 60s. We can do 40 or 45, which I think is acceptable. On the smaller screen, 40 Hz feels pretty good, way smoother than 30. I tell you that much. And even if you put it on the lowest settings, it's not going to make a difference. So yeah, and the lowest it goes is 720p, which is, in this case, is the same because it's forced 16:9. The only improvement I could make was to lower those shadows and the draw distance to medium. So basically medium settings with reflections included. But anything lower runs the same because, again, CPU limitation, which is a shame. And this is one of the parts where I dropped into the mid 40s with this draw distance. Here with the 40 FPS lock, you don't even know that there is a performance drop here due to the amount of geometry into the distance. So yeah, it's pretty good that we can do this. And it should be a flat 40 across the board. So yeah, I'm pretty happy to recommend it. Especially if you never played the PS3 game. And if you played NieR Automata, well, you cannot miss this one. I still have to finish it. I barely started it. I forgot it existed, honestly. But after playing NieR Automata, I remembered that it was a thing. So yeah. I'm probably going to play the entire way through on the Steam Deck. Unfortunately, only 2 hours of battery. But if you look into 30 Hz to 30 FPS, you probably had a good chance to maintain maybe 2.5 hours. Still, pretty good looking game. Bad CPU optimization,